Birdman wasn't just another superhero, he was something television didn't quite know how to handle yet. A God-powered hero, sidekicks carrying quiet loss, villains punished in ways Saturday morning rarely showed. Behind the bright skies and bold music, NBC kept a lot of this universe very quiet. Because some ideas were darker, stranger, and more ambitious than kids' TV was supposed to be. And once you start noticing them, the show feels completely different. Today, we're uncovering 35 strangest facts about Birdman and the Galaxy Trio, NBC kept secret. Starting with a power source that didn't come from science at all. Fact 1, Birdman's powers literally come from the sun god Ra.
You'll be punished, all right, but not by FEAR. Internation Security has a cell reserved for you.
Birdman isn't just a superhero, he's divine solar property. Ray Randall becomes Birdman because the Egyptian sun god Ra gives him wings, beam attacks, and shimmering golden shields. It's not solar powered like a tech gadget. It's ancient mythology wrapped in 60s animation. The show never leans deeply into the religion behind it, but it's right there in the lore. Birdman is fueled by sunlight because Ra built him that way. I always find that wild parents thought they were watching a simple action cartoon. Meanwhile, the main character is basically a glowing priest chosen by a deity. A little sunlight, and he's unstoppable. Too much shade, and the power fades fast. One bright ray turns him from man to missile. Just wait until Fact 2. Fact 2. His weakness is darkness, but a desk lamp can fix him.
Child's play, Birdman. I can fire pellets of pure energy.
Birdman might be God-blessed, but flip off the light switch and he's toast. His powers drain fast in darkness, leaving him limp and grounded like a phone with 1% battery life. But here's the funny twist. He can recharge from nearly anything bright. A desk lamp. A campfire. A nuclear furnace, if you're feeling dramatic. There's even an episode where he's shrunk to insect size and recharges with a magnifying glass like a lizard sunbathing on a rock. I love the ridiculousness of it, powered by godly solar energy, yet rebooted like a houseplant under a lamp. Darkness is his kryptonite, light is his caffeine shot. And that's part of the charm, a mighty warrior undone by cloudy weather. Fact 3, Birdman's over-the-top battle cry, his cannon.
Correction, Birdman. Now for you. Fire, Chobo.
The laser cannon. Only one chance.
That stretched out heroic yell, Birdman, isn't satire, parody, or Adult Swim exaggeration. It's official canon. The show describes his war cry as part of his combat identity, almost like a sonic flare announcing that justice is about to drop from the sky. It's both dramatic and a little silly, and that balance is exactly why fans remember it. Think about it, he doesn't whisper into battle, he shouts his own name like a one-man theme song. Kids loved it. Adults now hear it and grin because it feels larger than life, like something no hero today could pull off without irony. But Birdman did it first, and he did it loud. One word, elongated and echoing like a trumpet blast. When he shouts, villains know sunlight is coming. Fact 4, Bird Boy is created by a solar life transfer.
Thanks, Avenger. I feel my powers coming back. Now, let's take care of Nitron.
Bird Boy isn't born with power, he's charged with it. Birdman finds a dying boy adrift at sea and saves him the only way he knows how, by transferring his own solar energy into him. It revives him, empowers him, and basically turns him into Birdman Jr. That means Bird Boy's strength isn't just training, it's inherited light, a literal shared spark. I always find that origin both heroic and a bit intense. One superhero splitting his sun-given essence to create another. The boy gains powers, flight, and a destiny tied permanently to Birdman's energy source. No lightning bolt, no lab explosion, just two beings connected by a beam from the sun. It's noble, risky, and a setup for something sad in Fact 5. Fact 5. Bird Boy's missing father is a permanent unresolved mystery.
The next time Nitron strikes, we'll be there waiting.
Bird Boy's father disappears in the shipwreck where Bird Boy is found, and from that moment forward, the boy spends his time searching, waiting, hoping, and the show never answers it. No reunion, no closure, no tragic reveal. Just a mystery hanging over the character like a shadow that never moves. For a kid's cartoon, that's surprisingly heavy. A partner hero built from survival and loss. It adds emotional weight you don't expect in a 6-minute segment. Bird Boy has power, but also grief, a story with no ending. It makes you wonder if writers planned future payoff or simply left it drifting like Birdman found him. Either way, the unanswered father storyline gives Bird Boy depth most 60s cartoons didn't dare touch. Fact 6, Bird Boy can't actually fly on his own.
And to finish the job. Help me!
Birdman soars like a golden hawk, wings wide, sun behind him. Bird Boy, not so much. Despite sharing solar power, he lacks natural wings. He flies only because he straps on mechanical ones like a gadget accessory. It's a funny contrast. The mentor glides naturally, glowing with power, while the sidekick needs hardware like a kid wearing water wings at the pool. Bird Boy is strong, fast, and gifted, but never fully independent from tech. That detail makes him feel more vulnerable, more grounded, like a hero still learning how to be one. Birdman is divine. Bird Boy is engineered, one born under the sun, the other powered by borrowed light, a partnership built on wings, but not the same kind. Fact 7, Avenger can carry Birdman and even heal him with sunlight.
The keys, Avenger. Quickly, the keys to the cell.
Avenger isn't just a pet eagle, he's Birdman's literal lifeline. When darkness drains Birdman like a dying battery, Avenger can scoop him up in his talons and haul him into the sun to recharge. In one wild episode, Birdman is shrunk to insect size and Avenger uses a magnifying glass to focus sunlight onto him like a solar panel. Birdman recharges instead of bursting into flames. Talk about divine energy efficiency. That moment captures their bond perfectly. Birdman might command the sky, but Avenger saves him when the light fades. A superhero and his eagle, switching roles when things go dim. Not many heroes trust a bird with their life, but Birdman literally needs him to survive. Fact 8, Falcon 7 becomes Phil Ken 7 in Harvey Birdman.
I'm being fired at by our own weapons. I hope my solar energy shield is strong enough to withstand them.
Falcon 7 is Birdman's eye patch wearing handler in the original 60s series. Mysterious, serious, all business. Then, Adult Swim revived the universe and completely flipped him into Phil Ken 7, Harvey Birdman's unhinged, laughter-ready boss. Same design, same silhouette, but personality dialed up to insane. Spin-off material confirms they're the same man, just reimagined through surreal comedy. It's one of the funniest transformations in cartoon continuity. Falcon 7 evolves from government briefing man to cracked law firm CEO who laughs through disaster. A straight character rewritten into chaos. That shift shows how flexible Birdman's legacy became. Serious action could stretch into weird parody with ease, and somehow, both versions work. Fact 9, Bird Boy returns as Peanut, now sinister and strange.
Oh, help, please.
Bird Boy doesn't stay innocent forever. In Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, he's reborn as Peanut, a whispering, sly legal clerk with a very different vibe. Gone is the hopeful sidekick searching for his father. Now he's sharp, snarky, morally ambiguous. Instead of divine sunlight, his energy comes from power bands. It's like someone took the original character, shook him in a blender, and poured out a cynical, grown-up version. The contrast is startling. One era's child hero becomes another era's unsettling comedic figure. And yet it fits the tone of Adult Swim perfectly. Birdman aged into satire, and Bird Boy aged into something creepier. It's nostalgia twisted through adulthood. Fact 10F. E-A-R is defeated forever until it randomly comes back.
Attention Ocean Liner Starcraft! You have a nuclear scientist named Professor Clark on board.
Number 1 leads the F-E-A-R organization, Birdman's biggest recurring threat. In the wings of F-E-A-R, the entire group is finally defeated and declared gone for good. Except, they're not. They reappear later without explanation, like the writer shrugged and said, bring them back. It's a classic 60s continuity bend. Final can mean temporary, destroyed can mean waiting backstage. The logic is flexible, the villainy persistent. Kids didn't question it, they just cheered when Birdman blasted them again. Adults rewatching notice the loophole and laugh. A terror group that refuses to stay defeated not because of lore, but because cartoons don't retire bad guys, they recycle them. In a strange way, F-E-A-R lived up to its name, always returning. Still with me? Good. Now let's see how the villains break reality itself. Fact: 11 Reducto tries to shrink a nation and shrinks himself. Instead, Reducto might be one of the most entertaining villains Birdman ever faced. A man with a shrink ray and a dream of reducing the entire country to matchbox size. His plan is huge, ridiculous, and wonderfully 60s. But like many villains, he becomes the victim of his own invention. During Birdman Meets Reducto, a misfire miniaturizes him instead, shrinking him down to microscopic scale until he's basically erased from existence. No trial, no escape, just one last tiny whoops. It's poetic justice wrapped in absurd science. Reducto wanted to make the world small. Instead, the world became too big for him to even be seen. That's the kind of cartoon logic I love. One push of a button and the bad guy becomes dust. Fact 12. The Speed Demon ages himself into an old man. The Speed Demon gives himself super speed, using a special potion so he can outrun Birdman, steal faster, and control every situation. And it works at first, but the twist hits hard. The faster he moves, the faster he ages. His speed burns through his life like gasoline on an open flame. By the end, he isn't a dangerous blur, he's an old man exhausting his strength while a missile tracks him down. It's one of the darkest fates in the series. Subtle, yet haunting. A villain destroyed not by Birdman's beam, but by his own ambition. A reminder baked into the plot. Shortcuts cost something. Power taken too fast burns out faster. And in the Speed Demon's case, it burned him into wrinkles. Fact 13. The ant ape is built with ant serum.
A human fly trapped? Never!
Dr. Claw doesn't settle for ordinary robots. He injects one with ant serum, transforming it into the ant ape, a towering hybrid with animal strength and relentless durability. Half metal, half insect logic. It's one of the show's strangest biomechanical concepts. The ant ape becomes nearly unstoppable, tearing through obstacles and powering through Birdman's attacks. It's that perfect mix of 60s sci-fi and Monster of the Week design. Simple idea, big impact. I love how this origin feels both absurd and logical within the show's universe. Add ant traits to a machine and you get brute force programmed with hive-minded aggression. Birdman eventually defeats the creature, but not without struggle. It's proof that Birdman's villains weren't just goofy, they could be frighteningly inventive. Fact 14 Murrow, the Marauder controls, shadows, and even Birdman's own.
These will go back to a top security safe. And I won't rest until we track down the constrictor.
Murrow isn't just a criminal, he's a sorcerer of silhouettes. His power allows him to control shadows as living weapons, including Falcon 7's and even Birdman's own. Fighting someone using your shadow against you is psychological warfare wrapped in animation. Murrow's ultimate move is blocking the sun to weaken Birdman, but that decision backfires beautifully. Without sunlight, Birdman drains. Yet Murrow loses his shadow army too. No light means no shadows. The villain traps himself with his own strategy. It's a brilliant, almost poetic defeat. Birdman regains power when access returns, and Murrow collapses without darkness to command. A battle of light and shadow, literally. One mistake, one eclipse, and the entire advantage flips. Fact 15. A nuclear reactor recharges Birdman instead of killing him.
While, hurry, Captain, before he attacks again.
Look out!
Captain Moray shoves Birdman toward what should be certain death, a blazing nuclear reactor built using kidnapped scientists. Anyone else would vaporize. Birdman? He absorbs the radiation like a power smoothie and comes out stronger. Instead of melting him, the energy supercharges his solar cells, turning the trap into a battery pack. It's one of the best wrong villain assumption moments in the show. Moray tries to weaponize science and ends up juicing his enemy to full strength. It highlights Birdman's strange biology. Divine solar power doesn't fear heat, it feeds on it. Fire, radiation, intense light, all fuel. One reactor away from unstoppable, the hero rises glowing, the villain falls, and nuclear death becomes a sunlight substitute. That was wild, right? Keep your seat, because from here, the universe starts bending like light. Fact 16, Dr. Freezoid freezes a whole city block and himself. Dr. Freezoid isn't just cold themed, he's Arctic grade insane. With his freeze device, he ices over an entire city block like it's a Christmas display gone wrong. His base sits at the North Pole, fittingly, and when Birdman breaks through his defenses, Freezoid panics and cranks his machine into overdrive. Instead of saving himself, he flash freezes his entire headquarters and traps himself inside it. No giant battle, no dramatic takedown, just a villain who locks himself in his own ice cage. It's classic Birdman irony. Evil plans collapse under their creators. One wrong switch and the mastermind becomes the exhibit. For a show aimed at kids, that's a surprisingly dark, poetic ending frozen by your own obsession. Fact 17, Professor Nightshade's fourth dimension box backfires hard.
I do hope you'll find our reception cold and unfriendly, Birdman.
Professor Nightshade invents one of the wildest weapons in 60s animation, a solar box that can hurl cities into the fourth dimension. Not destroy them, displace them. He uses it on Birdman expecting victory, but instead the device supercharges him with extra solar energy. Birdman grows stronger, brighter, unstoppable. Nightshade tries again and ends up zapping himself into the fourth dimension forever. No rescue, no last line, just gone. The genius collapses into his own invention like a magician who disappears without rehearsing the trick. It's one of those episodes you rewatch as an adult and think, wow, they really just erased him from reality. Birdman didn't defeat the villain's ego did. And he became cosmic dust? Fact 18. The deadly duplicator is defeated by his own copy.
At long last we meet.
Your message made sense, Dr. Kelly.
The deadly duplicator doesn't rob banks, he replicates people. His special glasses fire a beam that creates obedient duplicates of generals, heroes, even Birdman and Avenger. It's basically cloning through eyewear. But the ending flips beautifully. Birdman uses the duplicator's power against him, forcing the villain to face his own copy. The duplicate becomes just as strong and determined, and the two versions cancel each other out. A mastermind undone by himself, literally. It's a lesson baked in comic absurdity. If you build clones to replace people, don't be surprised when the mirror starts swinging back. Not laser blasted, not imprisoned, defeated by reflection. A perfect 60s moral disguised as sci-fi chaos. Fact 19. The deadly trio exists just to break Birdman. Sometimes writers build one villain, sometimes they build three just to make one hero sweat. The deadly trio is exactly that. Three powerful foes merging their abilities, force fields, energy disruptors, scramblers, with one clear goal: destroy Birdman once and for all. Individually, they fail, so they fuse plans into one coordinated assault. And it works for a moment. Birdman is captured, imprisoned, nearly finished. But that's the beauty of the plot. The moment villains cooperate, they also tie themselves together. Birdman reverses their tech, traps them in their own system, and escapes using the same device meant to kill him. A team built to break him instead breaks itself. 3 heads, 1 downfall. Fact 20, Computron leads a robot uprising, then repents.
Sunrays on! There is your...
On planet Orbis 4, robots revolt under a metallic leader named Computron, flipping masters into prisoners and seizing control. It's pure sci-fi rebellion until Gravity Girl weakens him by altering his weight so he can't activate a destruction switch. Peace returns and everyone learns the polite Hanna-Barbera lesson. Only people should rule people. But years later, Computron returns in Computron Lives, revived by criminals. Instead of another war, the Galaxy Trio hit him with a ray that brings consciousness, and he repents, turning gentle instead of genocidal. A killer machine reborn as a philosopher. Only in a 60s cartoon can a robot start a revolution and end up enlightened. Was Birdman unstoppable or dangerously unstable? You'll have your answer by Fact 30. Fact 21, Gravity Girl is literally a runaway space princess.
But you won't be as fortunate with my demon of fire.
Gravity Girl isn't just a cosmic teammate, she's royalty. Her profile reveals she's the daughter of the King of Gravitas, raised in luxury but unwilling to sit on a throne while the universe burns. Instead of silk gowns and royal banquets, she joins the Galactic Patrol by choice, trading privilege for purpose. That detail adds depth you don't expect in a 60s superhero cartoon. She isn't a sidekick, she's someone who walked away from comfort to earn her strength. A princess who chose justice over jewels. It's almost Disney before Disney noticed. Watching her alongside Vapor Man and Meteor Man becomes more interesting when you realize one of them grew up in a palace and still chose danger. Fact 22. An ultra-gravitizer cannon can destroy worlds miles away.
Oh, time for jokes now, Meteor Man. We have to locate Growlithe. And I think I know where to look.
Gravity Girl's home planet isn't just political, it's constantly under threat. In Growlithe of Gravitas, a villain builds an ultra-gravitizer cannon capable of destroying objects from thousands of miles away. The Galaxy Trio tries brute force, but Growlithe's energy field blocks everything. Their solution is wild. They displace their molecules to infiltrate his world, bypassing the field entirely like ghosts passing through walls. Then they turn the weapon back on him, launching the villain 1,000,000 miles into space. That's Hanna-Barbera scale, simple, dramatic, and hilarious. It's also one of the show's most comic book style victories. Unstoppable weapon, huge stakes, villain launched like a baseball into the void. Fact: 23 psychosodium anklets turned Gravity Girl into a slave.
Behold my slaves.
In Space Slaves, Gravity Girl mysteriously disappears. The trio trace her to the Crimson Zone, where the villain Elraf forces her to mine psychosodium, a mineral used to craft mind control anklets capable of enslaving entire planets. When she's chained, she turns against her own friends, proving the device works. It's dramatic and darker than most Saturday morning cartoons dared to go. The trio free her by flipping the anklets onto Elraf, forcing him to destroy his own machinery in panic. Then his molecules displace and vanish into the unknown. Some episodes end with hugs. This one ends with the villain scattered across the cosmos by his own technology. That's cosmic justice with teeth. Fact 24. The Galaxy Trio's displacer is basically Star Trek teleportation.
At last, the ultra-gravitizer is complete. Now to test it on that 50-ton block of runtonium.
Condor 1, the trio's sleek patrol cruiser, carries a device called the Displacer, a machine that can transport living beings across planets instantly. Episode descriptions compare it directly to the Star Trek transporter, and considering both shows aired during the same era, it's like Hanna-Barbera built their own warp-friendly shortcut. One button, and the team materializes anywhere in space like they're stepping through light. No rockets, no landers, just teleportation as routine travel. For a 60s cartoon, that's cutting-edge imagination. Long before sci-fi TV became mainstream, Galaxy Trio casually used tech we still dream about today. Fact: 25 Meteor Man can supersize limbs independently.
So, it looks like your plan has backfired. I don't want to hurt you, but you better tell your followers.
Meteor Man doesn't just grow, he upgrades like a controlled mutation. Instead of becoming a full giant, he can enlarge individual limbs at will. Need a punch? His arm swells to building-smashing size. Need a grab? His hand balloons like a cosmic claw machine. It's a smart, visual power, dramatic, funny, and easy for animators to draw. That ability makes him versatile in fights because he doesn't waste energy enlarging everything, just what the moment requires. Meteor Man is strength with precision, like a superhero with targeted body upgrades. While many heroes just punch harder, he punches bigger. Fact: 26 Vapor Man can become gas and freeze things with his hands. Vapor Man isn't solid science, he's pure comic book chemistry. Hailing from the planet Vaporous, he can turn his body into mist, fog, or full-blown gas clouds. That means he can slip through cracks, escape cages, and float through danger like cigarette smoke nobody can grab. But his best trick is offensive. He fires specialized vapors, including freeze vapor, turning enemies into popsicles on contact. One moment he's human-shaped, the next he's air with attitude. The power gives him stealth, mobility, and environmental control in ways animation rarely explored back then. He can be everywhere and nowhere at once, the kind of hero who can disappear mid-punch and reappear behind you laughing. Vapor Man isn't just a teammate, he's atmosphere gone intelligent. Fact 27. The Galaxy Trio can survive in space without protection. No helmets, no suits, no oxygen tanks. The Galaxy Trio just step into space like they're walking to the store, cold vacuum, no air, cosmic radiation, and they're perfectly fine. References make this explicit. They can operate unprotected outside their ship. Not even many modern superheroes can brag that casually. It instantly shifts them into cosmic power territory. Not just heroes, but beings built for star-level environments. It tells you they are not just humans with abilities, they are something evolved, enhanced, or alien in a way. 1967 TV never sat down to explain. Kids didn't question it. Adults now realize that's an absurdly powerful feat. They're not astronauts, they're raw cosmic survival units. Fact 28, a whole rubber planet gets popped like a balloon. Plastis, the pirate planet, might be the most delightfully bonkers plot in the series. The villain Plastron lives aboard Plastis, a planet made of rubber, elastic, stretchy, bouncy terrain. He tries to freeze planet Z11 by blocking its sun, using the rubber world like a mobile space platform. But the trio discover Plastis is basically a cosmic balloon filled with gas. Their solution? Punch a hole in the planet with Condor 1's rockets. The rubber planetoid pops, releasing gas and collapsing like a deflated beach ball. It's both ridiculous and genius. Save a world by popping another. You don't forget a moment like that. Fact 29. The Duplatrons replace world leaders with robot copies.
Attention, Galaxy Trio! Head for planet Earth on the double! Leaders of the 3 largest countries!
In the Duplatrons, Spectre abducts 3 world leaders from the Conference of Peaceful Nations and swaps them with robot replicas programmed to declare war. It's political sabotage disguised as children's programming. When Spectre builds duplicates of Meteor Man and the Chief, the trio reprogram the Meteor clone to track the villain's location and rescue the originals. It's an early animation example of robot insurgency and identity replacement themes sci-fi films would explore decades later. A near-world war in a kids' show slot, saved by rewriting a duplicate's code. Surprisingly bold storytelling. Fact 30, a time tornado throws the trio 1,500 years back. The Eye of Time sends the Galaxy Trio through a cosmic vortex, hurling them 1,500 years into the past. They arrive in a warped version of Scandinavian history where Romans are invading something that shouldn't even be possible. The heroes become history correctors, stopping the attack so the timeline resets correctly. Time travel this heavy wasn't common in 60s cartoons, yet Birdman and the Galaxy Trio dove right into paradox territory. One wrong storm, and they're rewriting history. Fact 31. Birdman is basically fireproof. Flames charge him like fuel. Most heroes fear fire. Birdman feeds on it. Series notes explain that intense heat works like solar energy in his body, meaning incinerators, reactors, and flames act like giant chargers instead of threats. In one episode, he's pushed toward fiery death only to come out stronger, glowing like a flare. It flips the usual superhero weakness trope on its head. Darkness drains him, but shove him into a furnace and he powers up like a space heater plugged into the sun. It's divine biology built for extremes. He's the only hero who could be executed and walk out like he just took a nap and a vitamin D supplement. Fire isn't danger, it's breakfast. Fact 32. The entire show only lasted 1 season and 20 episodes. For how big the universe feels, gods, robots, time storms, planets popping like balloons, the series only ran 1 season with 20 episodes. NBC aired it from September 9, 1967 to January 20, 1968. Every broadcast included 2 Birdman segments and 1 Galaxy Trio adventure, all packed into 1 half-hour block. Quick stories, wild villains, cosmic stakes compressed into short bursts of action. Fans remember it as much bigger than it was because the world felt enormous. 1 season shouldn't have been enough to build legacy. Yet Birdman survived, evolved, and eventually spawned 2 different Adult Swim revivals. Short Life, Long Shadow. Fact 33. Birdman accidentally appeared on a DC DVD menu in 2008. When Warner Home Video released DC Superheroes The Filmation Adventures in 2008, viewers noticed something strange. Birdman was in the DVD menu art instead of Hawkman. Wrong bird hero, wrong company. Documented mistake. Fans called it out, Warner confirmed the slip, and collectors now treat it as one of the funniest home media accidents ever pressed to disc. A classic Hanna-Barbera character accidentally photobombing DC packaging is the kind of oversight nobody forgets. A superhero who ran only 1 season ended up stealing digital real estate from a DC legend by accident. Cartoon history loves irony, and this one's priceless. Fact 34. Harvey Birdman rebuilt the villains as lawyers. When Adult Swim resurrected Birdman, they didn't bring him back to fight crime, they threw him in court. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, reimagined his old enemies as opposing attorneys, prosecutors, and legal chaos agents. Reducto shrinks evidence. Mind-twisting villains twist legal arguments. Characters who once fired beams now file motions. It's absurd, brilliant, and kind of perfect. The shift highlights how flexible the original lore was, silly enough for comedy, heroic enough for parody, nostalgic enough to hook adults. A whole generation learned Birdman not through battle, but through legal briefs. Fact 35: Bird Girl extends the universe with Falcon 7's daughter. The universe didn't end with Harvey, it expanded. Bird Girl, the 2020 spin-off, stars Judy Ken 7, daughter of Phil Ken 7, formerly Falcon 7. When her father dies, he leaves her his company and his legacy, pushing her into a chaotic double life. CEO by day, superhero Bird Girl by night. With the Bird team behind her, she continues the world Birdman built, but with modern absurdity and sharper humor. It's a legacy show born from another show. Rare, bold, beautifully strange. And those were 35 of the strangest, wildest, and most unbelievable things hidden inside Birdman and the Galaxy Trio.